Paul, after Tuesday's game, you said that words couldn't really describe how the club was feeling after that match. Have you had time to sit down and think about things and let the results settle in slightly?
Well, obviously a defeat is always hard to take for anybody, and the frustrations of the fans I can appreciate as well. But if you again analysed the game and studied the game, and we played the fourth top of the league, a decent side, and a couple of my friends came to the game and said that you wouldn't have known for long spells of the game who was the team in fourth and who was the team in second last or third last. You know what I mean? So that keeps me going. And that basically we can compete. We just kick ourselves in the teeth every time. We'd like to score the first goal and see how things transpire. In the end it seems to be that we have we get punished every time. There's lots of things I'd like to talk about. I was very interested to read Arsene Wenger's comments about how players coming to Arsenal took 7 months to adapt to a football club. And I think 19 players have had 7 minutes to adapt to a football club here. It shows you, the transition that you put your team into when you have an overhaul like this. And I'm not even going to mention the hands tied behind my back with injuries as well. So, and then the people will surmise I'm feeling sorry for myself and feeling sorry for the club, because of these injuries. But they have been a feature. And it's very difficult to spin plates as far as the way Laird and Dixon are concerned. They actually have played 5 games now in about 10 days, or maybe 2 weeks. It's a lot of football for for 2 people that had been out a long time. One had no pre-season, no competent pre-season. The other one got injured in the second or third game. So when they come back, people are expecting them to be top of their game. That's not going to happen. They come back with a wee bit of euphoria and a wee bit of hype, because obviously they feel fresh, adrenaline's pumping, and then obviously from there it's normal for it to kind of drop a wee bit standard-wise. But they worked very, very hard to get themselves back to their best, and I don't think in any of the games have let us down in their performance. I'm saying, but it's difficult at times to try to explain to people, the reasons behind the problems that we're having at this minute.
And it's obviously a few days now since Tuesday. I imagine the dressing room was very disappointed on Tuesday night. How have you gone about trying to get the players G'd back up ready for tomorrow's match?
It's been very hard. Even this morning there was a few feeling sorry for themselves. So there was a meeting on the pitch down there and they were basically told to get their heads up and we go into the next game for 3 points. I think the emphasis, I made sure that they appreciated the situation and why we're all in this together, and we've got to come out the other side of this going forward. We attempted to get to be a bit more open. We were playing, which could have resulted in a goal in the first half. I think if we'd went in 1-0 up, nobody could have complained. But we missed a chance at the back post, which was quite a simple chance, and that's football. In the end, we've got to kick-start our season. We've got to try and put two or three results together. And it's important. To everybody, and I do believe that they do appreciate that. As I said earlier, it's not for the lack of effort. These players have given me an awful lot. But the transitional period we're going through this minute in time has made it very difficult.
So you phrased these 2 games at home as cup finals for Yeovil, and Tuesday ended in defeat. How important is tomorrow's match for you and the club now?
Well, the next 2 are the cup finals, and then the next 2, and we go on until we kick-start our season. In the end, as I said, 3 wins in a row would distance you totally out of the. That's how much it takes. 3 wins. And I think, if we concentrate on the things we did quite well on Tuesday, and add to a couple of things that I think we didn't do well, and we improve in those areas, I think will be a test for Cambridge.
What kind of game are you expecting from Cambridge?
Well, I've got an old warhorse of mine, Barry Corr. I'll have to try and keep him quiet. He's a fulcrum and a key player to them. And a big, strong side. They play the game very positively. They've got long throws. They've got some big boys. So it's going to be one of those kind of games. It's going to be end to end, I would hope. And in the end, we've got to be positive in our approach.
One of the players that you'd have wanted to deal with Barry Corr is Stephen Arthurworry. He obviously came off on Tuesday with a knee injury. What's his fitness looking like?
He'll have a late fitness test. We'll see how he feels in the morning.
And in terms of the other injured players, is it the usual story for you that none of them are yet ready to come back?
None of them are available. I'm saying Shawambi's close, but not close enough.
And you mentioned last week as well that you were looking to bring another player in, an attacking option. Is there any news on that? You were hoping to get him in before?
We're in negotiations with several players. We're keeping our options open, with hopeful bringing somebody offensively in, but it's a hard job at this minute in time. We'll wait and see.
Is there anything close to happening, or is it early stages?
The early stages.
And obviously the atmosphere around the ground after Tuesday was quite a negative one, both on the touchline, on the pitch. How important would a win tomorrow be in improving the atmosphere around the whole club?
I just think we want to get this football club out of the predicament we're in at this minute in time. I'm confident the players that we've got the players to do that. I'm saying we just need them all firing all cylinders. I'm saying and everybody healthy. That's all we need. Time frame's the problem with that, as I said. So, we've had a wee shock to our system at the start, and this minute in time we are playing to be second bottom of the league. Stats never lie, and it's something we are going to have to turn around. And it won't be for the lack of trying, I can assure you.
How important is that first goal now? On Tuesday we came close a few times, but there's no shots on target again. But in the games where Yeovil have scored goals, they've often gone on to dominate games. You think of the Luton game, Dagenham, once we got the one goal, the game swung in Yeovil's way.
Yeah, the confidence all of a sudden seeps back into the players again. It's one of those swings and roundabouts, so it's important that we're appreciative and be positive. I've already mentioned that to players. We've got more of them, we've got to have more attempts, we've got to think goals. Hopeful that we've, instead of having 2 or 3, I'd like to have 6 or 7 who think goals.